Divine TV, power to transform lives.
Welcome to another week of family life with Mama Rita. If you are just joining us today, today is your first time of being with us. We've been handling temperaments in the past few weeks, temperaments. And today we want to do temperaments and the children. But before we go to temperaments, you see me in my lovely pink dress. We are in the month of pink, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I just saw it 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago that, what's the name, Coco Clinic is doing free breast screening. Please take advantage. If you live around Coco Clinic, please be there. Or any clinic close by you. The month of October is normally free for breast cancer screening. Please take advantage and go and check your breast. Early detection helps. Don't wait too late. When it's too late, nothing can be done about it. Please go now, have it checked, and see a doctor if there is anything. Today we are dealing with temperaments and children. Temperaments and children. So you can see that we have so many wings of temperaments. The first time we did the overview of temperaments and also went into the positives of temperaments. And then we also did the negatives of temperaments last week. And this week we want to do temperaments and children, or temperaments and your children. Children are born with their own temperaments, and you can't change your child's temperament. I want you to know, when we talk about temperaments, we are not only talking about mummies and daddies, we are not only talking about grown-ups, but even babies come with their own temperaments, and you can't change the temperament of your child. But what you can do is you can nurture your child's development by adapting your parenting to your child's temperaments. You can help your child develop the positive parts of their temperaments and help them diminish the weaknesses of their temperaments. Differences in temperaments explains why your child might be quite different from another. And that is why, as a parent, as a teacher, as a mother or father, you don't compare your child with other people. We'll go into it because your child is totally different from the other child. I want to read Proverbs 22 verse 6. Proverbs 22 verse 6. And I'm reading it from the AMPC, Amplify Classic. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. Train up a child in the way he should go. and in keeping with his individual gifts or bent, B-E-N-T. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. Train up a child in the way he should go, and in keeping with his individual gifts and bents, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. In other words, raise up a child in the way he should go, not in the way you want him or her to go. No. Not in the way mommy or daddy wants him to go. No. But you train up or you raise up a child the way he must go. They each have their own personalities. That is what we call the bents. They have their individual gifts. They have their individual temperaments. And they have their own personality. That is the bent. Children reveal their temperaments early in life. Like I said, from day one, if you are very, very observant, you can tell the temperament of your child. So paying attention will help you decide what they need. Every child has a particular way they must go. Please, let not force our children into ways they can't go. Let's not force our children into what God hasn't decided for them. They came with their own stories. They came with their own future. They came with their own, make-up. Once you know it, now you help your child to grow up in the way she must go or he must go, the way God designed it. So you realize that every child needs different types or different kind of training. You don't train Kwesi the same way you are training Ekuya. No, they are two different people. So this is what your children will need. Sanguines need activity. Sanguines, they need activities. Cholerics need to be in charge. Melancholy needs order and consistency. Phlegmatic needs peace and quiet. Sanguines need activity or activities. Melancholies need order and consistency. Phlegmatic needs peace and quiet. And choleric needs to be in charge. I will explain as we go along. Recognizing each personality type is vital to understanding your child's development. If the words of the above proverb are right, then each child has a certain bent. In other words, a certain personality, which makes him or her different from other children in the family. Each one of your children has a way to go that God has given them to be who he wants them to be, so they can do what he wants them to do. Please, I hope you are listening well. When we train our kids according to the way they must go, or the way they should go, or their bent, their personality, they will more easily recognize how God made them and will see where they fit into his plan. Now we want to look at the choleric child. The choleric child. Choleric child is the powerful choleric. Last week I mentioned the 4 P's. So we are doing a bit of rehearsal and then we also go into it. The powerful choleric. They say let's do it my way. A choleric would always want to do things their way. They always want to do things their way. Their desire is to have control, is to be in charge, is to take control over everything they are doing. Their key strength. So the powerful choleric will say, let's do it my way. Their desire is to be in control. Their key strength is the ability to take charge of anything instantly and make quick, correct judgments. They are goal-oriented and they are natural leaders. They are born leaders. So even in a baby or in a child, from the way they like to take charge over things in the house, you can straight away tell that these people are born leaders or they are natural leaders. Their key weaknesses: they like to be too bossy, domineering, autocratic. And I want you to know that it's only God that can be autocratic. They are insensitive. They are impatient. They are unwilling to delegate. And they don't give credit to others. Even when you are part of their success, most often they don't like to mention it. They want you to know that everything they have achieved in life is them. Their emotional needs. They like to be appreciated for accomplishments and for you to credit them for their ability, credit them for what they can do. How do you recognize a choleric child? By the way they like to move very fast. They are quick to grab for control. They are very self-confident people. You can see. So I am showing you ways by which you can tell if your child is choleric. They always need to be, and usually are right. They want to feel that they are right all the time. You can't win an argument with a choleric. He would always want to be right. They are high producers. Now, how do you train up a choleric child? How do you train up a choleric child? Choleric children need to be taught humility and compassion. You need to teach the choleric child right from day one humility and compassion so they don't become tyrants in future. They need to recognize that they are not all powerful or the center of the universe. So right from the beginning, you need to teach the choleric how to be humble. If you don't teach them to be humble, trust me, they will grow up to control everybody in the house, including mommy and daddy. Cholerics always like to be in charge. So right from day one, you need to start training them what it means to be humble, what it means to be compassionate, what it means to serve others. If you don't teach them these from day one, I am telling you, they will grow up to control everybody. Number two, in the training of a choleric child, one must place high ideas before them, appeal to his goodwill, his sense of honor, influence him voluntarily to correct his faults and to develop his good qualities. Cholerics are always right. They never see anything wrong with themselves. They never see anything wrong with what they do. So right from the beginning, if they do the wrong thing and you don't correct and you don't point them to their faults, they grow up, they will take it to school, they will take it to politics, they will take it everywhere. In ministry, as a pastor, as a husband, as a wife, they never see that they've done the wrong thing. They would always want you to know and to feel that they never make mistakes and they are right all the time. So that is why right from day one, you let them know, correct their faults, let them know when they've done the wrong thing, let them learn to apologize. It's very, very difficult for the cholerics to apologize. But if a choleric comes from a good home and parents are able to, right from the beginning, realize that or get to know what their temperament is, and then you teach them to apologize. She wrongs her younger brother. She should be able to apologize. She wrongs her younger sister. She should be able to apologize. If you don't teach them right from the beginning to be able to apologize, trust me, as a wife, they will never apologize. As a husband, they will never apologize. Everywhere they go, they will never apologize, even when they do the wrong thing. Number 3, do not embitter him by humiliating punishments or penances, but try to show him the necessity and justice of the punishment inflicted, yet be firm in what you must demand. So, cholerics are such that you can't just humiliate them. Before people, you can't embarrass them. Before their friends, you can't insult them. So, you need to be very careful when you are punishing the choleric. And in the punishment, let them understand why you are punishing them. Once you let them understand, without necessarily humiliating them, but punishing them in love, they would understand and accept the kind of punishment you have given to them. Number 4, it is always very important to put them in leadership positions. Put them in positions of leadership. A choleric likes to be in charge. They like to rule. Whether they are old, whether they are teenagers, whether they are toddlers, whatever it is, they like to be in charge. So because they like to be in charge, it is very important to put them in leadership positions. If you're a teacher, you can either make them a class prefect, assistant class prefect, cupboard prefect. They should be the ones to clean the blackboard. If something needs to be taken to the headmaster or headmistress's office, you send them to do it. They love these roles. You can give them the role of taking care of a weaker person in the class. And when you teach them that way, trust me, they grow being very, very responsible. And they will proudly do it. If you don't want them to be bullies, And most cholerics are bullies. If you don't want them to be bullying the others, put them in charge of the younger ones, put them in charge of the weaker ones, and they would do it more than you expect them to do. You can, at home, make them in charge of the dogs. Let them be the ones taking care of the dogs. Let them be the ones feeding the dogs. Or put them in charge of, setting the table, or clearing the table, or washing the dishes. They always like to be in charge. And it doesn't matter what you put them in charge of, they will do it, and they will do it very well. Number 5, acknowledge their special skills. Acknowledge the skills they have, and let them demonstrate it either in class or at home. If they are very good with singing, during family devotions, let them be the ones to either lead the songs or to do solo or something. If they know how to play the guitar or the piano or the organ, when you meet as a family, let them play it. They love these things. Once you do it, you are putting them in charge of their destinies. You are teaching them to be in control of their lives. As you do it, you are also dealing with their anger, you are dealing with their selfishness, you are dealing with their lack of they knowing they have done the wrong thing, and for them apologizing. I hope I am making myself clear. Number 7, you need to keep them busy and give them responsibilities. The sanguine or the sanguine child always want to be productive. They always want to do something. They are always doing something, working. They are workaholics. They have the energy for it. And because they have the energy for it, and they always want to do something, give them responsibilities. Make them busy. If you don't keep them busy, and they are not productive at home and in the classroom, they will take it on their friends when they go to school. So they are natural bullies. So if you don't train them to be active, to be productive, always they should be doing something. When they go to school, they want to prove that, Charlie, I have arrived. My granddaughter gets into nursery. Just the first week of nursery. Nursery. First week. I think she was about 3 years old or something. First week, we get a report that she's beating everybody in class. Hitting everybody, beating everybody. Those who are younger, those who are her age, those who are older. So now the teachers tell us we should calm her down. But I believe the teacher didn't realize that this was a typical choleric. And typical choleric, get them doing something. Get them active. Get them sharing textbooks, notebooks. Get them to, if there are snacks to be shared, water to be shared. They are the people we call postkaya. They like to do things. If you don't train them to do something, trust me, they will send it to the other children. And then you need to reason sensibly with a choleric child. You need to reason sensibly. For every instruction you give to them, explain to them why you are giving them that instruction. If you want them to go to bed at 8, you need to explain why they must go to bed at 8. Everything they'll ask why. Why should I go to bed? Why am I going to bed at 8 o'clock? And when it comes to choleric children, you need to be very... You want them to sleep at 8. Every day it must be 8. If today they are sleeping at 8, another time 12 o'clock, another time 7 o'clock, the day you want them to sleep at 8, they will tell you, Mommy, you made me sleep at 12 the last time, so I think it's okay to sleep at 12. They would always want to challenge you and challenge everything you say to them. So I hope you got me very well in the training up of the choleric child. And one thing I want to tell every parent is that let them know you are the mother. Let them know you are the father. Let them know you are the parent. If you don't meet them forcefully, trust me, when they are in their teenage age, you won't be able to control them. At 5, start controlling them. When you go out, keep an eye on them. They are the ones that can embarrass you publicly. You've asked them not to touch the chocolate. They will wait when people are there. They will touch it. And before people, if you say don't touch the chocolate, you say, no, mommy, no, daddy. But if they know that you are very firm, and your no is your no, they will learn it when you say don't do it. The sanguine child, we call them the popular sanguine. Let's do it the fun way. Sanguines always want to have fun. And everything they do, they want to have fun. They are children who like to skip and run more than they walk. I remember when my third born, Nadromo, was little, she would hardly walk. She was running all the time. All the time. She's moving from here to here. Instead of walking, she's running. I remember one day, Reverend Darkith, our head of UK churches, asked her, Nadromo, why don't you like to walk? Why do you like to run all the time? She said, walking is boring. So for them, walking is boring. He wants to run. They want to skip. They love to dance. They love to jump. They love to play. In fact, that their temperament shows what childhood is all about. And for sanguines, they never grow up. Everything about them shows how a child must behave. Their desire. So I'm showing you how the way you'll be able to know who a sanguine is. They love to have fun in everything that they do. As children, walking is boring for them. They like to run. They like to jump. And in having fun, they find the family very boring if the family doesn't go out. I remember when Nadromo was young, every Sunday after church, she wanted us to go out to eat. If we said no, she said, what a boring family. I mean, every time they want to have fun. Fun, fun, fun. If you don't learn this about your child, you'll be in big trouble. I handled a sort of twins. One person is a melancholy, and the other one was a typical sanguine. And I will show you when we get there how you can know who a melancholy is. They are normally very quiet, well behaved, composed. They are very neat, they arrange their things, orderly. So this set of twins were sharing a room together. And one of the twin, the melancholy, was always neat, bed well laid, everything. And then the sanguine, her bed was always messy. And every time the parents came into the room, will compare twin B to twin A, the sanguine twin to the melancholy twin. Why can't you be like your melancholy brother, who is always arranging his things? He's always neat. And then in class, sanguines like to talk. So this guy was always a chatterbox in class, always talking. And then in school, at home, he was compared to his brother. In school, he was also compared to his brother. The teachers from class to class would say, why can't you be like your brother? Your brother is well behaved. Your brother is quiet. Your brother is well composed. Your brother, your brother, your brother, your brother. Until one day, the sanguine twin couldn't take it any longer. He came home destroying things. The mother didn't know that this child is a typical sanguine, and this is the way he is. So let's train him according to his temperaments. Let's train him according to his bent. I think it was too much for the child. He came home, started breaking things. And guess what happened? The parent, the mother, not knowing who the son is, called the police. They came, handcuffed him. As I speak to you now, the child is still on depression medications. So we need to be very careful when we are comparing our children. Don't compare your child with anybody, even if they are twins. They are different. You just love it. You just love them. They crack one joke and everybody's on the floor. Reverend Charles, if you are listening to you, I'm missing you. Their storytelling ability is so high. They know how to share stories. They are very playful and they make friends easily. So you can tell if your child is a sanguine. You travel with them right at the airport. They meet other children. They go to them and start playing as though they have known each other for so long. And that is a sanguine child for you. Their key weaknesses: they are disorganized, they are forgetful. My husband always tells me I'm forgetful. I'm not forgetful because I'm in my menopausal stage. Trust me. I've been forgetful since I was a baby. They exaggerate. They let others do the work. They are easily persuaded. And they are very naive. Naive means that they believe everything and everybody. I remember, because I'm a sanguine, I'll talk about my daughter a lot. I know she's listening. They can add Romo, please don't be angry with me. I didn't ask you to be a sanguine. I remember when she was a child. Then, I don't know whether it was a sleepover or one friend came. And this friend was telling her story about she having a Barbie doll. And then she was telling my daughter, I think then she was about 6 years old, that her Barbie doll can talk. Her Barbie doll can go to the market and shop. And this girl went on and on and on about her Barbie doll. And you won't believe it. My daughter believed her. That indeed, her Barbie doll can talk like I'm talking. Her Barbie doll can actually go to the market, go to the supermarket and shop. You know, sanguines are very, very naive people. I hope I'll be able to finish this thing. Their emotional needs. They love attention. They love affection. They love approval. They want you to approve of them. They like acceptance. How do you recognize a sanguine? They are constantly talking. They talk without swallowing saliva. They are loud. They are colorful. They are creative. They are very entertaining. So, if you have a sanguine in your house, the house is always entertaining. When all other children, all my children, my firstborn, Pastor Naka, will come home, go straight into her bedroom. Pastor Papa, who is married, when he was around, go straight into his bedroom. Mawena, the last born, comes straight into the bedroom. Nadromo is the one who, after work or after school, will always come to our room and check on us. And once she comes, she takes a seat, sits down, and chat till 12 midnight. If I don't sack her from my room to tell her tomorrow is working day or tomorrow is a school day, go into your room, go and sleep, she'll still be there chatting. But she actually makes the house interesting. When you travel with her, there's no day time of boredom. You travel with Mawena, she's in the room. She'll be in the room. She stays in the room from morning till evening. But with sanguines, oh, you enjoy them. The education of the sanguine child. The child must be consistently taught to practice self-denial, especially by subduing their senses. Perseverance at work and observance of order must continually be insisted upon. Because they like to chat, they lose focus. So if you are not on them all the time, trust me, they won't do their homework. They will chat and not study. They will wait 1 week to the exams. They are now serious, behind their books studying. So you must always be on the sanguine child. Number 2, the child must be kept under strict supervision and guidance. Why? He must be carefully guided against bad company because he can easily be seduced or swayed away because they make a lot of friends, and because they are a people's person, you must be with them all the time. If you are not on them all the time, trust me, by the time you realize they are in some kind of company in school that you won't like it. So make sure that you are on them all the time. They are very cheerful people, and make sure that you don't stop them from being cheerful. You don't stop them from having fun. Train up a child the way he must go. That is the way God made them. If you try to change them, they will end up becoming something else you won't like. So don't stop them from having fun. The only thing is that you guide them from overdoing it. Number 4, encourage the sanguine child in the areas of performance. They love to sing, dancing, acting, in sports, after school activities. Sanguines are very active people, very active children, and they need something exciting going on all the time. So this term, they can be in the dancing group. The next term, you can change into the swimming group. The next time, you can change it into sewing group. The next time, they can be part of Red Cross. The other time, they can be part of Girl Guides or Boy Scouts. They love new things all the time. So encourage them to be part of after-school activities. When you know there's after-school activities and they close at 2, don't be there at 2. My darling, you get them angry. Let them be part of it. It's part of their make. It's part of their growing up. Let them be part of it, and they will grow up like that. The sanguine child has a greater need for physical affection than any of the temperaments. Listen carefully. The sanguine child has a greater need for physical affection than any of the temperaments. So parents must do a lot of hugging, a lot of holding, a lot of touching, a lot of cuddling, a lot of kissing. Tell them constantly you love them. My darling, if you have a sanguine daughter and you don't hug, you don't kiss, you don't tell them you love them, if they get to their teenage age and they get some stupid boy coming to them and telling them you are beautiful, you are intelligent, I love you, trust me, they will fall head over heels in love with them. Every time as a parent, especially for the girls, let them know you love them, let them know you care, give them hugs, give them kisses, hold them, give them a tap on the back, let them know that you actually care. Once you do this all the time, if any other person, even a teacher in school, we've seen it so many times, telling them they love them, they know that, oh, this is something Daddy has said to me several times, and Mommy has said it so many times. So this is not news to me. You need to teach him or her early the discipline of tidying up their room, my darling. Sanguines are naturally untidy people. They are not organized when it comes to their room. So right from when they are children, Teach them to tidy up their room. And then it's also very important to teach them the importance of handling money. Why? Because they love to shop. They love to buy. You give all the 4 temperaments money, and everybody will come with some money and then account. By the time you realize they have bought a shoe, they bought a bag, they bought a dress, they bought new earrings, and the earrings, when they get blue, they'll buy. When they get red, they'll buy. And then the last way you must train a sanguine child. They do very well through word of encouragement. So instead of yelling at them, instead of criticizing them, instead of insults, instead of constant spanking, make sure that you encourage them a lot. They like to hear good things in their ears. If you don't, and you do your training by insulting, by yelling, by insult, by criticizing them, they will grow up to be what you don't want them to be. With this, we will go on a short commercial break and we'll be back. Looking at it, I think I might do the melancholy child and then the phlegmatic child next week. We will go straight into discussion and then we'll do Ask Mama Rita. The community I grew up in impacted stubborn fearlessness in me. I grew up as an outspoken child and was often regarded as loud, naughty, arrogant, and rowdy. I was misunderstood and considered very difficult to deal with because I always stated my stance, objected to opposing views, and strongly defended what I believed in.
This is My Story. It's an autobiographical account of the life of Reverend Mrs. Rita Ankra. It takes us through an intimate journey of her life in a small fishing community, Accra, Ghana, to the global stage of ministry where lives are transformed through the redemptive grace of God operating through His handmaiden. Get your copies now and be inspired. Order online on iBookstore, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble, royalhousechapel.org. or visit any major bookstore near you. For further inquiry, contact the Royal House Chapel office at Obechabi Lamte Interchange, Accra, or call 0302 221255.
Maybe year after year, you've been coming to Shiloh and a particular breakthrough you are looking for hasn't come yet. But as for this year, it shall be your year. I don't know who I'm speaking to here this evening, but those who wrote you off, God is about to blow their mind with what He will do with your life. I see God lifting some people up. And Hannah said, now I have an answer for my enemies. Tonight, God is about to give somebody an answer to your enemies.
Anybody who lifted up their voice and said you will not make it, woe to them. We will make it. We will rise up. Have they not heard of our name? Our name is Royal House Chapel. Our name is Royal Ladies. And we arise and we shine. We will arise and we will shine. And they will go down. Thank the Lord for what He's giving you. Bless Him for what He's giving you. Your situation is not perfect. So what? Rise up, one leg up, and say, I bless your holy name. And say, I thank you, God. And say, I praise your holy name.
Anytime I come to this ground, I carry something back with me. I get challenged again. I get motivated again to do more for God, because your eyes can see what God is doing in Shiloh.
Hallelujah. I declare that you will live. I refuse it that anything about you will die before its time. If they put plaster over your miracle, if they put plaster over your testimony, if they put plaster over your marriage, I am here to disappoint them, because the more they put plaster over you, the more you will rise up, the more you will close up. You have resurrected.
My sister, my mother, if God has promised you, if God has shown you that picture, if God has shown you your future, you will surely get there. The Jerusalem, the Amalekites, whoever it is, in the name of Jesus, in this camp meeting this morning, we will kick them out of your way. We will kick them out of here. You are possessing your possessions. You are possessing your future. You are possessing your land. Nothing can stop you. I am here to prophesy to somebody. If God has said it, if God has prophesied, if God has shown you, if God has given it to you, you shall possess it. Whatever voice is telling you, you will not make it. On the altar of Apostle General Temperaments, I nullify that voice.
Yes.
That is a lie.
Yes.
to Family Life with Mama Rita. If you are just joining us, today we are doing temperaments and children, or temperaments and the training of our children. Sometimes we want the children to go in a particular way. I remember one scripture I have always read, Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up the child in the way he must go. We've always thought that training up is just, the kind of training we are giving up the children. And if we give them this particular training, tomorrow they won't depart from it. But in studying about temperaments, I have come to realize, and I read a scripture in the Amplified Classic, if you are just joining us, that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and in keeping with his individual gifts and or bents. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. And I'm saying the bent here is personality. So every child comes with their own temperament. Every child comes with their own personalities. So if the Bible is saying, let us train them the way they must go. Yes, the child was born as a choleric. They were born with their own personalities. Why do you want your choleric child to be what they are not? Because one child is quiet and melancholy. I can't go into that one today. We'll go into that one next week. You want that other child who is a choleric or a sanguine to be quiet by all means. That is not the way God has fashioned them to be. So with me today, I have a couple who are very, very special. Number one, we will talk about their temperaments, how they've been able to handle their temperaments, and then we will find out if they've been able to know the temperaments of their children. Pleasure is mine to welcome to the studio of Family Life my own son, biological son, and my own daughter-in-law, the only daughter-in-law I would ever have. I don't have two, I don't have three, and I will never have another. She's the only one. Mrs. Kranchiankra II. Please help me welcome Pastor and Lady Deacon Papa Kranchiankra.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I hope you know what we've been discussing in the past few weeks. We've been talking about temperaments. I want to find out, do you know what your temperaments are? What are they, and how have you been able to handle your temperaments?
I'll let my wife go first.
Why do you want her to go first?
She knows why.
No, you go ahead. Okay,
So Jackie, what's your temperament? When I met you, I heard you were sanguine. And looking at myself, I knew you were nowhere near being a sanguine.
Yeah.
So how did you finally, what is your temperament, and how did you finally know what your temperament is?
I actually found out this year.
This year, wow.
And I've come to terms with it.
Okay.
So
She came to this last night.
I hope you are not in a state of denial.
I was initially, but I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm melancholic, and I have some traits of phlegmatic.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that's me.
when we talk about the double temperaments, we'll talk about that out.
Yes.
Talk about the combination later in dealing with the temperaments. So how have you been able to handle your temperament?
It's still work in progress.
It's still work in progress.
Yes.
I like that.
So there were times where I believed I was a certain temperament, but I wasn't. So
Okay.
it's just that some traits are now coming
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And I'm sure
getting
marriage helped you find out who you are.
I I guess so. And motherhood.
Give me the credit. Give me the credit. Say I'm helping.
So, Pastor Papa, what temperament are you?
I'm melancholic and choleric.
Okay.
So what we call a male claw.
Yeah.
And let me speak a little bit about my wife. So
Okay.
when I first met her, she thought she was choleric.
Okay. Hey.
And
I can explain
we
further.
discovered
Oh, then all the four, because I didn't hear choleric. I heard sanguine.
because she's the firstborn out
Okay.
of 4 children.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
The only girl.
she's the only girl as well.
Yeah.
So domestically, she was in charge
Okay.
of the home, of the
Okay.
kitchen. So she assumed
Okay.
that is what made her
Okay.
choleric. But later, she discovered that there's more to the temperaments
Okay.
than your job at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we discovered that she was not choleric, and we've gone through a very long process to learn this. But for me, I think I knew from the first moment I discovered what temperaments were.
Okay.
I was able to discover what mine is, a melancholic and a choleric. And how I've been able to deal with it. I think, how have I been able to deal with it?
You've worked on yourself.
Yeah, I have.
Marriage has helped him.
Marriage has helped me.
Yeah,
No,
Tony-
I think the home before
The home,
marriage.
okay.
It took me, out of all the 4 of them, he and Pastor Naka, it took me a while to really get their temperament. I don't know. With Pastor Papa, you know, also being the only boy among 3 girls, he took charge. So I saw more of his choleric temperament than I saw of the melancholy. And then with the melancholy too, I didn't see too much of the negatives. I think because of the environment and the kind of home he grew up with. In our home, there was no opportunity or the chance to be moody,
Yeah.
to be quiet, to be. So it didn't make me really see the melancholy aspect of it. But I think with time, as I studied more of temperament and I became more of a guru, and you know, in temperament now, I began to realize that, oh, he was a melancholy first and then a choleric. So that's combination. It took me a while. And with Nana goes to the same thing. When she was a little girl, you know, in school she was very quiet. I didn't want to go into that. I wanted to wait when I get to phlegmatic. But her friends will come for sleepover. She will leave them downstairs and then come to my bedroom upstairs. And then I'll say, Nana goes, why are you in my bedroom? You have friends. Go and chat with them. And then she'll tell me the conversation is finished. And being a typical sanguine, I was wondering how conversation can get finished.
Yeah.
But I think at the time, I wasn't too vexed in temperament. So I couldn't really know that, you know, but, well, now I know. So how have you been able to deal with your temperaments?
I think I've grown a lot in the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
Ministry really helped.
Okay.
When you are into ministry, you cannot be too moody. You
Okay.
cannot be too melancholic.
Yeah.
You are dealing with volunteers. You
But
are dealing
surprising, I never saw you moody as a little boy.
It comes and goes.
It comes and goes.
Yeah.
I never
It comes
saw
and
it
goes.
at all.
A lot of people don't know this. I'm actually a very reserved person. And people don't, you see what I'm talking about?
Because I remember anytime we dropped you at school, right by the door, you had armor bearers. About 10 boys
Hey.
will come right at the car. Pa, 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 pa. Somebody takes his bag. Somebody
Hey.
takes his lunch box. Somebody, and he was always so exciting. Yeah. Do you remember those days?
I think it's because there's the choleric secondary.
Yeah.
Sometimes, or a lot of times, the choleric overshadowed the melancholic. But the
Okay.
melancholic is there.
Okay.
You know, and I think as I grew, it became more apparent.
Okay.
But the job I do now and the environment I'm in will not allow that to be seen. Because I'm always at the forefront. I'm always leading. I'm always in charge. So it's you unless you are very close to me. So I think my wife has seen that side of me way more than outsiders have.
because with you also having a backbone who is a sanguine and was always talking and always worrying you, I mean, it made you learn how to talk. Anyway, so now you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Have you been able to tell what their temperaments are? Because now I am teaching parents. You don't need to wait for the child to get to 21 or for the child to get to 18 or 15 before you know what their temperaments are. Right from when they are babies, you can tell. So do you know the temperaments of your children? And at what point did you know what their temperaments are? And how were you able to identify that this is what their temperament actually is?
So we've definitely seen signs.
Okay.
So our firstborn, who is 6 now, turning 7, we saw it very early, between, even before she was 1, that there was some sanguine in there, there was some choleric in there. And I know you haven't spoken about the combinations. At the moment, we don't know which one is more predominant, but we know that these 2 are there for sure. I remember when she was a baby, one day she woke me up at night. She was hungry and she wanted milk. She woke me up and then pointed to where the milk was, and then she sat on the bed, waiting for movement. And this was around 2 a.m. And I went back to sleep. She hit me again, pointed. Then I slept again. Then she started pushing me off the bed. I was like, which choleric child is this? So you could tell the signs, like she was in charge. She knew what she wanted. And then we saw the sanguine as well when she was a baby. She was very excited all over the place.
Playful,
very playful. She would pass a statement without even thinking about the repercussions. And we saw it very early. At the moment, as she's growing, it always changes. She's becoming more reserved than when she was younger. I don't know whether there's some melancholic creeping in now.
Maybe it could be a third.
Thinker, analytical.
She's become more analytic. She asks very deep questions. Her mind is further than everybody else. She asks questions about sermons she hears in church. And a lot of so. I think there's also some third temperaments, and as she grows, we'll see more and more.
And maybe she's becoming that way because of her sister and because of you.
Exactly.
Sometimes the environment you also grow up in, it won't change your temperament, but it molds you in a particular way. And maybe she's also growing up to know her surroundings very well. So now she's...
So what we tried to do was, because we as parents have learned very early what temperaments are, we try to correct the weaknesses of the sanguine.
That's good.
She tends to meet people and start just telling them things in our family.
That's why you must always behave well at home.
Just start telling them things that are happening, private things that are happening at home. So we had to teach, no, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Outside the family, you don't tell people what's happening.
Daddy has spotted you.
So I think she's learning, and as you said, train up in a child the way she should go. A lot of times when we read that scripture, we only think about the positives, but the negatives are also true. I'm sure we'll come to that very soon. Do you want to talk about some, Jessie?
No, I just want to share something that happened on Sunday. So Sunday after church, I was really, really tired. I decided to cook something in the kitchen, and she just sprang up out of nowhere. I'm come to make fruit juice. She's come to juice some fruits. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Let me finish and let me help you. She says, no, I want to do it now. I'm like, please give me 5 minutes. No. She went into the fridge, got the apple juice. She went to get some of the fruits. And she got the machine, got the chair. And then I got to her and I was like, you know what? Let me just help her. Let her have her way because she's not going to give up. So then I got more fruits. And then we started blending. I got her sister on board. And they were really excited. They blended the juice and then they drank. And they were really happy with themselves. They left some for Daddy in the fridge. When Daddy came, they're like, Daddy, I've made juice for you. And they're really happy and with what they did. So yeah, that's it.
So the second temperament.
Second one. So our second born is Jessie. She is 4 years old.
Hey! This is the first time I've seen a mother have to think to remember that.
I'm in charge.
No. Because she celebrated her birthday in July. Literally every day she's like, when is my next birthday? Can we start planning for our party? So I get confused. So we feel that she is a melancholic and has a trait of choleric as well. Sanguine, yes, sorry, yeah. But it differs. Like every once in a while, one trait pops up.
Okay.
And I think the melancholic trait she has is strong. She doesn't like being told off. Any little thing, she starts crying.
Like public rebukes.
She doesn't like public
They
rebukes.
don't like it at all.
And then we saw sanguine in her. Her sanguine is even appears more stronger than some Zoe now.
Wow.
She can see somebody in church that she knows. She doesn't mind walking across the auditorium to go and say hello to the person. You know,
I see that.
She's coming out of her shell. You know, some Zoe is becoming more calculated. She'll wait when we stand in church, then she'll go and greet.
Okay.
You know, but some Jessie, she'll just go.
Wow.
You know, so we've seen melancholic and then sanguine in her.
Could it also be training from her elder sister, making her sanguine?
It's possible. It's possible. But generally, both of them like outing.
Okay.
I remember when Samzoe was younger, all she needed was just sit in the car to go to the filling station and come back, and she's happy. You know, and I see that in Sam Jessie as well.
Okay.
They like being around people.
They like going for walks.
They like going for walks.
They like to have fun.
Yeah.
So you see the sanguine in them. I guess as they grow more, we would identify whether that's truly their nature or is based on.
Why do you think parents must know the temperaments of their children? And then why should spouses know the temperament of their spouse? Why is it important?
Okay, so I can tackle the parents one.
Okay.
As children, every child wants to feel loved, you know, and that is what they're here for it. So we have to give it to them, and they also want to feel understood. So those are the two important things two important needs of the child. And once given, you'll be able to learn more about the child, understand them, be there for them, nurture them in the way that they must go so that they don't go wayward.
As for the parents and the married couples, I can tell you from experience that understanding the temperament of your spouse cuts 50% of fighting in the house. 50%. You know, you'll be able to even predict what they'll do, how they'll react, what they'll say. You'll be able to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. You know, there are a lot of things that we leave down to the background of the person. But even more important than the background is the temperament of the individual. You know, how does somebody react to good news, to bad news, to whatever it is, all down to temperament. And I think that is really, really important for those that don't know the temperament of your spouses. You need to learn it. You'll be shocked how much your marriage will change just by understanding their temperament.
So it will be next week, but very soon we'll talk about temperaments and your partner. Temperaments and your partner. You'll be shocked the kind of things you will learn from your temperament. Today we are doing temperament and your children. We will finish up next week with melancholy and then phlegmatic. And then the following week, we will do temperament and parenting. So today we are doing all the children, but next 2 weeks we will do temperament and parenting. They are two different things. Knowing your child's temperament and then parenting a child who is a sanguine, parenting a child who is a choleric, parenting a child who is phlegmatic. How you discipline them is so important.
I mean, even you, the parents, your temperament influences how you discipline.
So you realize that cholerics can't, what is the word? They can't stand phlegmatic children. They think that they can't tolerate. They are too slow. They are too lazy. But as a choleric parent, you must know how to handle your phlegmatic child. And then as a phlegmatic, you must know And it's one thing I'll be teaching when I get to temperament and parenting. If you are a wife and your husband is a flag, trust me, flags are laid back. They are not too much into the training of the children. They are very peaceful people. Everything is okay. So even when the child is misbehaving, they think that, no, I need to bring peace into the house. I don't have to. So they leave the mother to do it. We will talk about all these things. We will go straight away to my co-host, and then we will do Ask Mama Rita. But before then, I am feeling so good in my...
So pinkalicious.
Hey, please give me the English word.
Pinkalicious.
Happy bait. Abigail Baden, Beju, I want to say a very big thank you for making me look very beautiful today and for making me feel very confident. I feel very, very confident today in my dress. Thank you so much. Since our pink month, the first week in October, you've sold all my dress. Wow. I mean, sponsored, free of charge. And I want to say a very big thank you and God bless you.
God bless you, Abi Bade. I also want to say a big thank you to L-MAT-P, E-L-M-A-R-T-P-E-E, L-MAT-P. You can follow her across all social media handles. Get your orders everywhere you are across the globe. She's going to make your order available. L-MAT-P, thank you for making me part of the Pink October month. As a matter of fact, this Saturday, the young ladies, 2G powered, all royal ladies and very forward-looking gentlemen are also going to be part to support the drive for attention and awareness on breast cancer. So please, let's join. Let's learn all the things about keeping ourselves healthy to prevent it so we can live longer and enjoy ourselves in the Lord. Keep your questions coming through, +23320051523. Across all social media networks, use the hashtag AskMamaRita, AskMamarita. Your questions are definitely going to be addressed by her and her seasoned counselors. And we have the CEO of Powerline in the house.
Yes.
A big man.
Yes.
He says today if you get him angry, we'll go 10 p.m.
The CEO who doesn't pay me.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Over to you. So, Mommy, Pastor Kofi just sent a message and says he wants to know the date you are going to handle temperaments and sex.
Hey.
Temperaments.
That's all he wants.
Yeah, Pastor Kofi.
Tell him I'll handle it in 10 years' time.
All
so
right.
we will go into it, temperament and sex.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I know that's what you are waiting
One more me. So there are a lot of complimentary messages also. Matty from London says, you're looking beautiful, Mommy.
Thank you, Matty.
Na Sanku Nete says, you're looking very beautiful in your outfit, Mommy.
Thank you, Na.
Also from Auntie Sisi Sunyani says, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
I love your pink dress.
Wow.
You are looking beautiful. And I'm sure Daddy has told you already.
Yes, so
you are my constant teacher. God bless you.
Thank you. Is that Auntie Sisi?
Auntie Sisi.
Please, Auntie Sisi, my pink is reminding you that we are in the month of pink breast cancer awareness. If you haven't checked, please take advantage. Walk into any clinic, into any hospital, and then check your breast. It's free of charge in the month of October. If you wait November, you'll be charged.
Highly favored, Abena, wonderful name. We know where you're coming from. Says, these discussions, Mommy, have been very helpful to me.
Amen.
Thank you so much. I've learned a whole lot, and I'm still learning. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you too, Abena.
Our first question will be, good evening.
Good evening.
I am very quick-tempered, and I don't have confidence in myself. Sometimes, I love to create a lot of jokes, and I introduce new things easily. However, I create jokes for people, especially my family, to laugh. But when I'm indoors, I feel lonely. I cry a lot over very little things, especially in my relationships. What am I and how can I deal with this?
Do you want to?
Yes, this person sounds like a melancholic
Flag.
sanguine.
No, a melancholy flag. Flags are very, they make
Humorous.
people laugh. They are very humorous. And they are also very quiet. And
Indoor.
they are indoor people. And then melancholies are also not very confident people. They can be moody. So it's a combination. Because I haven't spoken about the combinations, we will say you are more of a melancholy or more of a flag. So read about it. Now there's information everywhere. So go and read about it, or listen to me when I talk about the phlegmatic, and then listen to me when I talk about the melancholy. But when I do the combinations, you get to know yourself even better. So not being very confident about yourself could be a melancholy. Being moody is also a melancholy.
Loves to create jokes.
How to create jokes. Phlegmatics like to create jokes. Phlegmatics and sanguines. But being very, the indoor type and brooding over your problems and all that tells me that you are melancholy and then a flag.
Okay, the next question says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
Please, I am very introverted. I find it difficult to make friends, but I'm such a faithful and loyal friend to the few that I have, and I keep them well. I enjoy staying indoors and being all alone. I am, however, hardworking and organized, even though I feel more comfortable when people make decisions for me. I am very emotional and forgiving as well. Please, what's my temperament?
Your temperament, do you want to try?
A flag.
Yes, a flag.
And a bit of a male.
A male, good.
Do you know I wanted to answer? That's just like my wife. it's like you were
She just described her for you, eh?
So, I hear what you are is exactly like Lady Jacqueline, my daughter-in-law. So it was very easy for her to mention what your temperament is. Melancholy and then a flag.
So she's loyal.
You are loyal. Phlegmatics are very, very loyal people. Very, very loyal. Before a phlegmatic will divorce you, then it means that you have
overdo.
they are very, very loyal people. A lot of senior pastors love phlegmatics as associate pastors because they hardly leave you. Very, very loyal person. And then she also said she's not lazy.
She's not lazy,
She's
hardworking,
not lazy means that she's a melancholy.
Yeah. And she's also introverted.
She's introverted.
Yeah.
Both
Organized.
melancholies and phlegmatics are introverted.
Yeah.
She's organized.
She's very organized. Melancholies are very organized people.
Great. All right, we'll move to the next one coming
So,
from
like
Ifua.
we are doing, if you are not sure of what your temperament is, just if you know yourself, tell us about yourself, and then we can tell you who you are by your temperament.
All right. This one says, please, is it possible for a child to exhibit 3 of the traits, because my 7-year-old exhibits more of melancholy and sanguine, but recently I'm observing choleric traits as you have just described. Is it possible?
I think it is. Even though we believe that there will be 2 very predominant ones, one primary, one secondary, you might see signs of a third. 7 years is still very early. I'm sure as he grows, one of them will be suppressed while one of them will come up. But it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
So, like Pastor Papa said, most people are 2. Some people are 70-30, some people are 50-50, some people are 60-40, some people are 80-20. But then there's also the possibility of having a third. But you see 2 more, and then the third one is, so it's possible. But like we are saying, at 7, it's very early to know all 3. You see that there are more of one or more of 2 than the third one.
And I think because they're developing as well, you just see different aspects of their behavior and their character.
Yes. And then sometimes behaviors are also learned. So if she has, or he has a friend in school that is very temperamental, to get a pen, they would have to scream and cry and shout. Sometimes they come and practice it at home. So sometimes, or they are sanguines, they talk a lot. But anytime they talk in class, they are beaten for talking. Every time they talk in class, they are scolded for beating. Sometimes it affects them a bit. But as they grow up, you can't hide who you are forever. It comes out.
All right. I remember once when a teacher entered the class, he had to go to the teacher's common room, mommy, and so asked somebody to take names of talkatives. So he went and came back. When he came back, they started calling the names. He went straight to me, gave me 3 lashes. No, it wasn't even me.
Can you imagine?
The way he said, I thought you were on the left. Because he knows by all means.
By all means, your name is there. And for me, the double punishment, you know, if you talk a lot, they will write DP. For my name, they write DP. They can write DP about 5 times. And unfortunately, teachers couldn't handle me. Little did we know that there was something called temperaments, and this is the way I was. Unfortunately, because they didn't know, they couldn't handle my negatives. But I'm sure in those days, if they knew about temperaments, but I thought that for teacher training and those who did education, they should have, it's part of psychology. You know.
This is over 40 years ago.
Anyway, it's over 40 years ago.
Things have changed so much.
Things have changed so much. Now there's so much knowledge.
Wow. Now the DP has turned to double promotions.
I like that. I receive it.
We are going straight to Nigeria. Samuel says, Mommy, my wife is always dirty in the house. Hey, I now go. Even the kitchen, she's unable to keep it. And I try so much to clean things up. I am so frustrated. Hey, Samuel, I am beginning to think of going out with a chick that is neat.
Hey.
Master. You have to stop what you have started. You want something to justify. And then he says, what can I do to correct her? Over to you, our counselors.
I'll leave Mommy to diagnose his temperament or his wife's temperament. But I'll say that understanding the temperament will give an idea of why those weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Is that a reason to go for another lady? Of course not.
Yeah.
My question to him will be, why are you not taking up the lapses of your wife?
Yeah.
You know, and this is something that we teach in our counseling. You identify the weaknesses of your spouse and you help them become better by also taking up some of the lapses and helping correct. You know, it's possible that that's how she grew up. She didn't have somebody to teach her. Some people like organized mess. So it's messy, but they know where everything is. And that's how they are.
So, well, like we said, for sanguines, most sanguines will have their rooms untidy unless they have people doing it for them. But if the person grew up in the home where there were no houseboys and maid servants and all that, and they had to do it for themselves, I mean, most sanguines are messy. I have a friend, most people know her, now we are sisters, Mama Faith. I travel with Mama Faith, and Mama Faith is a typical melancholy. I travel with her. I enter, I mean, we are staying in hotels, and I enter into Mama Faith's room. Oh my God. And everything is organized. Where her comb is, her eyebrow pencil is, I mean, everything. When they bring us hampers, her hamper is neatly arranged on the table, and you come to my room. I mean, that I don't intentionally do this. I mean, but by the time I realize my room is messy. So, number one is part of my temperament. So for all you know, your wife might be a sanguine. So what do you do? Help her through her negatives. So assuming, and one thing about people like us, though we are messy, we can tell, I mean, I have PhD looking for things. Because every day there's something I can't find. I can't find my iPad. I can't find my phone. I can't find my underskirt. Oh, if something gets lost in the house and I look for it and I can't find it, then it means that it's not in the house. So everything has its advantage and disadvantage. So number one, it's possible the person is a typical sanguine. Number two, it's also possible she grew up on her own. She never grew up with a mother figure. So certainly if that person didn't grow up with a mother figure, she didn't have that kind of training where you must arrange things. Or she grew up in a compound house where one room, 10 people are staying in one room. If 10 people are staying in one room, you don't expect the person to learn to be very organized, to be very tidy. So if it's a matter of just room, kitchen, whatever, teach her. Tell her when she puts this one here, this bottle here, it must be here. Right. And that is the way my husband did. If my husband came home and this was here, and it's not supposed to be here, he takes it and puts it here. Today, if I tell people I am a messy person, they don't believe it. I mean, nobody believes it. You come into my house, you come into my kitchen. Now, I don't like it when I see things untidy. My kitchen is tidy. My living room is tidy. Today, I studied in my study. And as I was sitting down, I was looking at things that were not well arranged. And I was, picturing how I would, so these things come with also growth. It comes with growth. It comes with a patient partner. Yeah. Be patient with her and teach her. It's something she never knew and it's part of her temperament. If it's something she never learned and her temperament is a sanguine, then it even makes it worse. So please be patient with her. You'll be surprised that you also have negatives. Yeah. If you are able to mention your temperament today, I can tell you what your negatives are. So if she's able to be patient with you when it comes to your negatives, you should also be patient with her. I'm telling you, if you go for another lady who is neat, you realize that there's something else. Yeah. Either she's also too moody, or there's something, or she talks too much. There's always something that everyone must deal with. The way I was as a teenager and the way I was in my 20s, I'm not like that anymore. I go out and it takes people a long time to be able, when I go out and I teach about temperaments, and then I ask them, what is my temperament? The first thing people say is that I'm a choleric, but I'm a combination of sanguine and choleric. My sanguine is first, so we call it sanclo. But you see, because I've worked on myself, please help your wife to work on herself.
The change won't happen overnight.
Pardon?
The change won't happen overnight.
Please tell them.
It will take time, a lot of love, a lot of patience, a lot of reassurance.
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Portia Chise says, Mommy, you're looking glorious tonight.
Thank you.
Portia, I've seen all the vibes you are giving me. Thank you. I appreciate them also.
Yes.
I won't read it for my wife to get jealous. All right.
From Rosalind Soa. Good evening, Mama Rita. Please, you look cute and good in your pinky puff sleeve dress.
Hey.
The discussion is very insightful. This needs to be taught in our churches to promote a healthy interpersonal relationship.
Amazing.
Thank you, Rosalind. That is so true.
Amazing.
In Royal House Chapel, we teach temperaments all the time. Yeah. And for pre-marital counseling, temperament is part of what we teach. And this is why we are teaching temperaments on family life. Please encourage somebody to also listen to family life to learn about temperament.
Yeah, and in Royal House, almost everyone knows about their temperaments apart from Pastor D. And he sends a question. He says, Mommy, I am asking for a friend called...
Please, Pastor D never said that.
Oh, Mommy, this one there, I can show it to you. Mommy, see. This is... Mommy, whose name is this?
It's
Pastor D.
Okay.
He says, my question, using Pastor Arnold as a case scenario, can poverty influence one's temperament? When somebody moves out of poverty, can a temperament change? He wants to find out.
Please, answer for them. Oh my God.
I don't think poverty will influence your temperament. I think the way you are is the way you are. In fact, there's a guy I know, I'll mention his name. He is the poorest choleric I know.
I see. And those poor cholerics, they are so proud. They are worse than the rich ones. They are worse than the rich ones.
He believes in himself. He thinks he's better than everybody, and yet he has nothing. So it's not. It has nothing to do with wealth at all.
That's right.
At all.
That's right.
It's the way you are.
Yeah.
It's the way you are.
So
rather, when you become rich, it helps you. Because you are rich now, you have money now, it influences you. You're able to deal with your negatives more, some way, somehow. But trust me, poverty or money doesn't change your temperaments. Hey, you haven't seen a poor man before. A poor, proud man. Oh.
All right. Right here in Accra, it's a sharp contrast to what we receive from Nigeria. Then Monique, she says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening, Monique.
And greetings to your panel. They are interesting. I have always admired you from afar.
Thank you.
I like everything about you. You're so amazing. So let's go straight to a question. She says, talking about my temperament, I have OCD. And OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. People who have extreme desire and passion for neatness all around them. And that is what she is, OCD. And she continues saying, I pay detailed attention to almost everything. I am quite strict and principled, very goal-oriented, and I love being in control. However, while I am quick-tempered, I am also extremely compassionate. Where do I fall? Please help me.
Do you want to take this? Or?
I think she might be a melancholic and a choleric, some traits of choleric,
Most people who have OCD are melancholic. Most people. I know somebody, oh my God, but at least I love one thing about that person. His wife is a typical sanguine. It's a bit messy. But when the man comes home and the house is messy, the man cleans. I mean, they came to me one day, I said, listen, your wife is not like that. So if you want the house very spotlessly clean, you do it. But his is so serious. Pastor Chief Ape.
Yes, ma'am.
If the guy is sleeping, Jacqueline, and the wardrobe is opened small like this, he won't be able to sleep.
Wow.
He has to get up, close the wardrobe before he can sleep.
That's serious.
And even before he closes the wardrobe, he wants to find out the way he hanged his shirts.
Mommy, this one, poverty would have changed him.
The way he hanged his shirts. Is it like that? He comes home and everybody is in trouble. Why? Because he arranged the cutlery this way. He doesn't understand why the cutlery, the fork, has shifted small.
Or they put it in the spoon tray.
Oh my God. But he's a typical melancholy. So please, if you are like that, all we are saying is that work on your negatives. So you have OCD, makes you a melancholy. She's what again?
Likes to be in control.
Very organized.
Very organized.
Goal-oriented.
Melancholies are very organized people. Goal-oriented, choleric.
She's quick-tempered and yet
Quick-tempered,
compassionate.
choleric.
And yet very compassionate.
And yet compassionate. So you are male Chloe. So when we talk about the combinations, you will know yourself even more.
I want to add that even though people who have been diagnosed of OCD are melancholics, it doesn't mean that every melancholic has OCD.
No. Yes, I like that.
You can like neatness,
yes,
but you haven't reached the level.
You are not
obsessive.
Exceptional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the key word is obsessive.
Yes.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
If you are not, if you're it's not a disorder for you. You just like things arranged. You don't have OCD. You don't call the spirit upon yourself.
So please don't call the spirit upon yourself. The fact that you are melancholy or melancholic doesn't mean that you have OCD by all means. All we are saying is that most people who have OCDs are melancholics. But it's not everybody who is like that. But generally, melancholics are very neat people and very organized.
Okay. We'll probably be taking our last question.
You mean it?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've long gone.
I can't believe it.
We're long gone.
Wow.
So, our next question says, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
Please, I want to ask, if a husband is married to a choleric wife...
I have two questions here. They are long, but finish yours. I think it was asked last week and we didn't answer it.
I am married to a very choleric wife.
Okay.
Who hasn't gone through the teachings that you are giving now.
Okay.
We have an extremely choleric child by the descriptions you've given. How do I... Well, he says, I am a very busy man who is always at work and hardly at home. How do I help my wife to train our child who is extremely choleric as well?
Okay.
So the last part tells me that he wants to cede all responsibility to his wife, which is the first mistake he's going to make. It's not a one-man job. It's not at all. He would have to be around to notice certain things. So one of the things that helps us, and this I learned from my parents, by you spending time with your children, you pick up on certain things, characteristics, attributes, both positive and negative. You need to be there to see them, to be able to even correct them in the first place. And if you are absent, that is not going to happen. The next thing is that they have to speak, he and his wife. They have to really be in constant communication. There are certain things that happen when I'm not there. My wife would tell me, oh, when you went out, this is what happened. This is what Samzobi said today. This is what Samjesi said. You know, I compare it to the notes of things that happened when I was absent. And that gives us a holistic picture of how our kids are developing. So they need to be the number one. Number two, constant communication needs to take place. And then number three, they need to now read and open themselves up for learning to help correct some of the traits that they'll see.
Jacqueline, do you want to add to it? No. Okay. So the fact that your wife is a choleric doesn't mean that she won't be able to train up the choleric child. Surprising. When one person is like that, and the person knows herself so well, and knows the negative so well, she's able to identify the negatives in that child. I know my daughter Nadromo so well because I'm exactly like her, except that I have allowed the Holy Ghost to work on me so much. And number two, because of maturity, I have outgrown my negatives. So immediately I see the sign or the signal, I tell her, you are being too flesh. You are being too worldly. You are being too like this. I mean,
you need the Holy Spirit.
You need the Holy Spirit. Every day, I'm reminding her that she needs the Holy Spirit to work on herself. So you see, the fact that your wife is a choleric doesn't mean that she won't be able to handle your, I don't know whether son or daughter, she'll be able to handle your child so well. Immediately she sees the negative. She tells herself, this is the way I am. That hasn't helped me. And most cholerics make enemies for themselves everywhere they go, whether in school, whether at work, because they are always bossy. They speak with such authority. that they make enemies around them. So once your wife sees the traits, they will be able to correct it. But like we are saying, when it comes to training up the child, my darling, it's not one spouse's duty. You need to have one voice, one mind to be able to deal with their temperaments. Please read this question.
Okay.
It came last week.
All right. Yes. These are quite detailed questions. Keep your questions coming through, +233-200-515-253. If you're unable to address it today, definitely Mama Rita and her counselors are going to touch on them. After all of the teaching episodes are done, we are going to have dedicated episodes for Ask Mama Rita sessions only, where we will be dealing with all your questions that will be coming in. So we'll take this question, which says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening. Are you doing the first or the second?
The first one.
Okay.
God bless you and the entire church for giving out your venue for free. I grew up in a church where I was singing, translating and reading the Akan Bible. I was once a youth pastor and was doing everything I could find doing in the church. I waited on the Lord, and the Lord blessed me with marriage at the age of 32 years. Can you imagine, Mommy? She starts, number one. I paid for the electricity in the church. I paid for the services of the technical team. I paid for the ropes of the choir. And the pastors that came to bless the marriage, I had to pay them.
Wow.
You are given the opportunity to pay upfront. Otherwise, this will be deducted from the offering collected for the couple on the day of the wedding. This amount that was taken was never discussed with the couple. You wouldn't know how much was taken. All you can tell is what has been bundled and given to you. I feel so hurt, especially since the wedding day, knowing how much I have served the church for so many years. As a young financier also, I don't know how I got charged for all of this. And this is a person who is embittered by the experience. Over to you.
I don't know if you want to talk about it.
It will be alien for you.
I don't want to talk about the negatives, but at least I'm glad we are reading this. So the members of Royal House Chapel know how much they have been blessed. Because we do counseling free of charge. And sometimes counseling goes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, depending on the counselees. We do it free of charge. There's no counselor in Royal House Chapel that charges for counseling. Number two, and there's one thing we have stopped doing, that we need to be inspected. I don't know if Reverend Agri still does it. At least we don't charge, but we need to check their title records.
Supported.
To be sure that they are very committed to the church. Because instrumental is free. Pastors free. Technical team free. Fuel and generator free.
Venue for reception free.
Venue for reception free. Ushers free. I mean, virtually everything is free. All we want is that you are a member. Once you're a member, nobody charges you. And Royal House Chapel members who are listening to us, I want you to know that you belong to a very blessed church.
Yeah.
So when you are paying your tithe, pay it with all joy. When you are giving sacrifices and you are giving offering, give it with all joy, knowing that other churches are paying for counselors, other churches are paying for choir ropes, other churches are paying pastors who are coming to bless, other churches are paying electricity. I'm sure very soon they'll even be paying for.
And then they are even dipping into their offering.
And they are dipping into their offering. Here, the offering that is taken, we don't even count it. We put everything in the bag and we hand it over to the couple. So I feel so sorry for you, but have a place in your heart, to forgive your church. that is what they also do. I can't say much, but have a place in your
I'm
heart.
very curious as to why she's embittered. Is it that it's not the practice of the church?
I think the practice is what makes her angry. And then maybe
it's possible she didn't know about it.
She didn't know about it. She didn't know about it. She feels that I've been in this church for so long, and then I'm getting married.
Typically, if it's a practice, then you are used to it.
You are
You've
used
seen
to
it being
it.
done for other people.
I believe she's not used to it. Can we
I
do
think
the
maybe
second?
maybe
Or
she
we
will.
should
I
because
think
of
we
time.
can take care of it next week.
So we will do the second question. It's quite also a loaded and a long question. I promise you. It came last week. We couldn't handle it, but please add it to one of the first things for next week. Please, next week I'm coming your way again with temperaments and children. It's extremely very, very important for us to know the temperaments of our children. Once you know the temperaments of your children, you know how to help them. You know how to empower them when it comes to their positives. And then you know how to work on their negatives so that they will grow up to be better citizens. They will grow up to be better wives. They will grow up to be better husbands. They will grow up also to be better mothers. When they go into the workforce, they don't annoy everybody. They don't get everybody angry. People are good. They work very hard, but they can't have friends within the workplace because of their negatives. Make a date with me, same time, same day, next week. We will continue with melancholy child and then the phlegmatic child. When it comes to melancholy, you see, I said so much about the sanguine. I said so much about sanguine because I myself, I am. And next week, I'm going to talk about melancholy. And I'm going to let you know what my sister went through as a little girl, and she grew up with it. If you're around my sister and you don't understand her, you won't know what she's been through. But I believe that it's because of what she went through as a melancholy child or as a melancholic child. We will talk about all that. I want to say a very big thank you to my own son and my only daughter-in-law.
Thank you, Mommy.
I want to say a very big thank you. I know you are traveling, and for you to be here today means a lot. God bless you so much.
Amen. Please, can I do quick adverts? So this week, I'm coming with a team of people to Dambai in the Oti region. We are going to be in Dambai. We are going to be in Karachi. We are going to be in, I've forgotten some of the pronunciations of the names, but in the Oti region. If you are in Dambai and its environs, get ready. We are coming there. On Friday, we will be in Royal House Chapel, Judah Temple in Dambai. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. So please, if you know somebody in Dambai, call them, let them know that Pastor Papa and the sons of the prophets are coming.
So if you don't mind, I can mention the schools that Pastor Papa and the team will be visiting. They will be at the OT Senior High School. They will be at the Dambai College of Education. They will be at the Asukoko Senior High School. They will be at Karachi Senior High, the Karachi Senior High Technical School, and also other schools in the Dambai region, in the OT region.
Amen. Deacon Jacqueline, I want you to talk about Saturday. What is happening? What would we be doing?
Okay, so this Saturday, coming live at Ahemfie, we are raising awareness for breast cancer. We have lots of activities lined up. It's actually a fun day for all ladies, both old and young. Come wearing a touch of pink. There's going to be a free breast examination. There's going to be free consultation with a couple of the best doctors in Ghana, which we have worshiping with us at our church here. There's going to be so much games, and we're just going to be here keeping fit, doing aerobics. There's going to be lots of food to eat. You know Mama Rita, and you know she loves show. So please come in your numbers, call a sister, call your mother, call your cousin, and don't miss out, because Saturday promises to be fun. God bless you.
Let me let you know what we are eating. We are eating oblayo. Oblayo is not something you can prepare in the house all the time. We are having oblayo. It's a typical Ghanaian delicacies, breakfast made with corn, porridge, with cooked corn inside. Oh my God, I can't wait for Saturday. We are having that with fried eggs and then bread rolls. We're also having wache, powerful pepper.
Come on.
Wele, and then eggs. We are having aboboy bambara beans.
Hey.
And ayabetatale, I don't know how to say ayabetatale in English. Plantain, you know, mashed plantain with spices, and then we fry it. And then we are also having yoko gari. We are having kenke. Oh my God.
All of this is after the health walk.
After the health
Yeah.
walk.
Okay.
Oh!
So we know when to arrive. we know when to arrive.
We're also having jollof rice. Jollof rice, which I mean there's going to be lots and lots. And then we're also going to have ice cream as dessert. We are having juices and drinks and all that. Please, if you haven't started fasting, start fasting now. And then trust me, I have already started interceding and taking the calories of the food such that after we walk, when we eat the wache will burn very fast in our system. Make a date with 2G ladies. 2G is a group and the royal ladies, and they are inviting all the aunties and all the mothers in royal ladies. Please, I want you to stay healthy. I don't want to see any lump in your breast. Amen. Come check it. We are going 80 years and beyond.
Amen.
I will see you on Saturday, and make a date with me same day, same time next week on Temperaments and Children. God bless you. Is there anything?
Yes, please. So the time for Saturday is 7 o'clock in the morning. Please come. We're starting off with the walk. It's actually a pink fitness day.
Yeah.
Come, we start off with a walk, and then after that, we're going to have fun.
We are going to do sack racing.
Yes.
We are going to do
Lime
spoon
and
and lime.
Yes.
We are going, I mean, all the things we used to do it when we were children.
Indoor and outdoor games.
I miss my childhood days. I am going to do it on Saturday. God bless you.
Location is Ahimfie, don't forget.